Like father, like son, like father. If we ain't setting examples, what we doing then? Set him up for failure, or you tryna pave the way. Show him how it's less traffic when you staying in your lane. I picked up bad habits from outside until this day. I ain't grow up as a bastard, you would never know that pain. Shout out to the ones who turned that trauma into gains on that money train. Stacking up dollars for when it rains. When it was only mom in the kitchen, she probably drained. So oblivious, we playing, she cooking and probably praying.
This question is for all the kids right now. It's for all of y'all. So what y'all just said, what do legacy mean to y'all? What legacy mean to you?
Legacy means to me just following up. I mean, like what somebody left behind, like what good they did to the world. What they did to the world. What did they leave behind that is still present in the world? And that's what legacy means to me.
Good answer, man. I like that. Good answer.
Pretty much what you said, like what somebody can achieve, what somebody can done to help others, or to help himself, or to help his family, anything. Either is what somebody has done.
Legacy to me, it's like you carrying the dude behind you, name, and you can't really like tarnish it. You can't. The legacy, I don't know, this one is like an interesting question. Legacy, because I look at it from like boards, like. Legacy, like Ron, like you can't. There's no pressure to live up to a legacy, but you create your own legacy and make it memorable. And then the legacy that you made that's so memorable, it just carries on from the past. The past, like it can drag you on. Like I don't know how to say it. It's like you just elevate the legacy. Like with my dad at the time, I could keep going, make my own legacy, but also the name Warren is still gonna be. The only thing that's still gonna be attached.
That's last right over here.
I say legacy is like your reputation, your name, who you are, what you've done. That, you know, that's something to say. Like it defines you, just who you did, who you are, your past.
Good answer.
I don't think that when you said reputation, some people think legacy is money, being successful. But I can firsthand speak, like, I've been out of here 15 years, I've been down here. My name is so good back home that my nephew made me store. And I can, like, go here and tell them you're my nephew. And doors can be open for them, opportunities to present them, just off integrity that I created, relationships out of. So sometimes, relationships are real, not money. Because just on him knowing me, I probably met him my first time really meeting something, right? Yeah. If he called me 10 years from now, it would be no question. Yeah. Just because me and his father have an integrity relationship, we saw integrity, vice versa, you know what I'm saying? So reputation, integrity goes a long way when it comes to this.
What was the question again?
Legacy.
What does legacy
mean to you?
Oh, okay.
You got something next about
Yeah, I do. So everybody answered about what legacy is. I like that, but I just wanted to just expand on it. It's like as far as whatever the legacy your father left behind, it's like looking at it and then trying to. You don't got to go in the same lane that they were in, but just trying to be better than them. And whatever aspect is like, okay, like if your father do clothes or do play sports, or whatever. Okay, like Brian, like if he ain't got to play basketball to expand the legacy, he can go into real estate and expand the legacy. So just because it's legacy, you don't got to actually follow directly in your footsteps and do the same exact path choice or career choices. Then you can still carry the legacy in a whole different field.
I like that. I like that. I ain't gonna lie, I like that. I'm chopping that up and putting it up to the day.
I agree. The power, 2019, I learned on the power of a lot of last names.
Okay.
Like Hennessy, Welch's, all of them last names. So Welch is great when you're drinking it.
Yeah.
That's somebody's last name that came from the family that they decided I'm gonna put it on this. And they took to this whole generation right here. Rockefeller. Of everything they did. So when I came into being the father, running the father for my kids actually bless this world, I learned that on the power of that last name, what that last name does. and how big of an impact do you want it to leave? Like you said, they don't have to do exactly what I did.
Right.
You know, if they continue it, that's torch to them, you know? But at the end of the day, I gotta make sure I set the stone and the foundation that they can take off whatever route they want to take off. And making sure it continues, that even when I'm long gone, it's still trickling on down.
That's a beautiful thing. Yeah, what you
I
got?
had a question for E. What's the most important aspect of manhood for me?
Pardon me, say that again.
What's the most important aspect of like manhood and fatherhood? Well, not a father, so manhood really.
Manhood. I'm definitely huge on character and integrity, like you were saying. So that's really what defines a man to me. Like I don't care about how much money you got. I don't care about, you know, or any materialistic like who are you? Like what character have you presented to? Like are you a person of your word, for example? Like, you know, just principles.
Right.
I think that more than anything defines a man. Sure.
Yeah, I got one for that too. Fatherhood to me is just unconditional love. It's acceptance. You know, it's adapting. It's outside of being present. You know, and when I look at like my father's 87 years old right now.
It's a blessing.
And we just started building a relationship in the last 10 years. Like building, like talking about the legacy. Like when you pass, like setting me up, like being present for my son. I didn't have grandparents. My parents were so old, they was like my parents and my grandparents, right? But I knew with having kids, I wanted them to have that. So it's just like, you know what? After what happened in the past, let's start right here.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
Right? And if we can figure it out, then you can be so much help to my son and sons, my family. And at 87 years of age, hey, I'm calling to check on you. I never had that. That is so different for me that sometimes I don't know how to respond, but in the moment I just be like, no, we good. We good. He just had to do a pacemaker on his heart. And I was gonna go up to New York just to be present, just to be there for him. Right? Don't know what I'm gonna do, right? But it's just, he don't know how to be a father either. So he's learning, right? Through what I'm doing with my son, like, oh, know what I mean? So, you know, acceptance, just accepting them for who they are, know what I mean? Whether your son, like in this society right now where men is not even men no more, you still gotta be a father and accept him.
Yeah.
Right? If someone wanna be gay, you wanna be bisexual, you still gotta accept him.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Love them at the same time.
And still love them unconditionally, right? They still need that love.
And still guidance.
And still guidance.
The
I mean,
guidance is important. I mean, you need that guidance.
That reminded me of something that I wanted to share specifically on this platform. Like with me becoming a father, like I said, I approached fatherhood like, I didn't have this, I want to be able to do these things for my child, and not necessarily from an intangible standpoint, just like I know, like with a little bit of guidance and somebody to instill some things into me, I feel like I would have been a greater person. Not that I'm not a great person now, but I would have been a greater person. Right. So I want to do that to make my children as great as they could be, right? So I remember when he was in like the 7th grade, right? He had basketball practice, right? So I wasn't there, and his mom took him and my daughter, his younger sister, to the practice. They waited outside for him while he was at practice. He comes out of practice. So the way it was explained to me, he came out of practice. They was deciding where they wanted to eat.
Right.
He wanted Chick-fil-A. His sister wanted Zaxby's.
Yeah.
They go to Zaxby's, and he loses it. He loses it. He said it so crazy, so much so that he even sent his mom an email like. She still has Like yo, I was like,
What was the subject like?
I'm disappointed in you. Like, she still got the email. She still has it. Right? He sent her the email, and he pulls the whole. It was Halloween. He was supposed to go trick or treating, so it gets all the way to the crib, and he's still like upset, right? To the point where he runs away, right? And so
to the party right there.
So he runs away, right? So he runs away. His grandfather calls me. His mom, dad, grandfather calls me, and he's like, I'm like, listen, I ran away. He's not going. You know what I'm saying?
Like father,
he's
like
not.
son.
He's not gonna. I really ran away. He's not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So finally, he comes back in, and I said, man, let's have a talk, right? And I sat him down, and I said to him, listen, you in the 7th grade right now, right? I'm not telling you like my life was worse or better than yours. I wouldn't do anything to neglect whatever you're going through in life. Right. If you feel like this is worse, go ahead, go through it. But I want you to think about this. When I was your age, right? Because I don't like to do that often because I don't like to take away whatever experience they have. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I want you to understand this. Just think about this while you're upset. When I was your age, right? My mother was in jail, and I didn't know who my father was. Right? I didn't have no father. So just imagine that this moment right now, your mom, who you're so mad at, is in jail, and you have no idea I exist.
Right.
Just think about that and go back to your room. You know what I'm saying? Went in his room, and I remember I came back in there later. You remember this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You remember Chick-fil-A or you remember this conversation?
No, he remembered Chick-fil-A.
Right?
So I said that to say like, it's like fatherhood, like when you ask like, what is fatherhood like, it's really like, you gotta like slow everything down and really figure out how you can utilize this to help your child grow in every moment. You know what I'm saying? In every aspect, if you did as a parent and you want to instill anything, you got to use those moments to be, you got to be real strategic about how you handle yourself and your child in those moments.
Yeah.
So I'm more of the like, try to understand this. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're upset, but there are, like, it can be worse.
Correct.
And people around you have been through worse.
Right.
So just understand that before you get upset.
Gratitude. Gratitude.
Gratitude.
I definitely I want to compliment you on that, based off of not neglecting how he feels, because they all feel something. Right. However, you gotta give him that information. Right. It could be a whole lot worse. Right. You couldn't have had no money to get no food tonight. I mean, like it's people and kids out there that don't have that. I'm not neglecting that you want some Chick-fil-A. Nigga, I got it. You know what I mean? But you know, yada yada yada. So even hearing that, it's gonna help me so much with my son, because you know it's the same shit. He got so many emotions. I think when you're a teenager, preteen, he just turned 13. You don't know how to express that stuff.
None of us did.
None of us did.
You think you handled it so much better until you speak to your mom. She be like, you getting on him like, you wasn't like that. I wasn't like that, mom. Like, but in reality, that teenage stage and emotions is a whole different beast. This is the first time, it's the first time they experience raw emotions that they got to go through. They don't know how to come out and be like, this is exactly what it is. And what you just said, like, that was mindful, that was mindful, I'm not gonna lie, like, that was real helpful. Because, you know, sometimes I probably do that, where I take her, like, you know, because how I came up. My mom left at 16. I finished the rest of my junior year by myself and going into my senior year. Yeah, she came up my senior year, but from January to August, September, I was home alone. Like you don't have that, so I can't take away from what they're feeling at that moment because it's like I'm giving you the world and more, and this is how you act, and you wouldn't have lasted in this, like you know. So sometimes I can do that, and what you're saying is something that just helped me. For me going forward, let me not take away what you're going through. But what if you was in these shoes? You know, that's
while you're going through it. While you're going through it, just think about this. That's why I'm saying.
That's it.
I like that. That's something
I don't never want to make it seem like my world was worse or better than your world. You know what I'm saying? Not, at least not to you in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta go through it. You gotta feel whatever you gotta go through. You gotta feel whatever you gotta feel. While you're doing this, just know this is what it was like for my father. You know what I'm saying?
I got a question. I got a question for the dad. Like, basically,
I like that.
How did y'all when y'all son or like child is to like they get insecure or like basically like they compare themselves to other people, like how did y'all able to help them calm them thoughts and like emotion, like not in their head to like even like compare themselves to other athletes, or this kid right now is better than me, or this kid got better clothes than me, this kid like got more money than me, or just like they clowning me in school because how I look, my lips and stuff like that. Like just how we got able to help them with that.
Well, you first.
I know this one.
That was loaded.
I think it was easy for me. I didn't really have to like do much for him. That's my son. So it was already in him. He looked at me every day. So I didn't really have to say much to him. He asked me questions. I gave him the right answers. Yeah, but I didn't really have to do much. I ain't gonna lie.
So I think it's safe to say your presence and being an example.
That's it.
The mirror. The mirror.
Showing up every day, doing
every day. I'm talking about like literally every day. He lived me since he was little. You know what I'm saying? Right now he's been living with me for like 7 years. Just me and him. Is the relationship different? Sort of, kind of, because he's grown now. You know what I'm saying? He's not a teenager anymore. But it's moments that he had that he still thinks like that. You know, when you call and ask me questions like, yo, how do you cook this? Yo, should I use this to clean the bathroom? Those are things that you already should know as coming up. So, like he was saying earlier about the
releasing the foot off the pedal,
off the gas or whatever. I still ain't do that with him yet. At 22, I still got that on him because I'm watching. When you 25, then you get in there big more. But to answer your question, not much really because he watches it every day.
That's interesting. So I remember on the previous episode that I watched, you said, "I'm not your friend." But it seemed like he, But I know, but it seems like in that example, it seemed like he could call you for some things that he would call his friends for.
Yeah, 2, 3 in the morning.
To go off the question, but I wanted to say what you said about taking the foot off the gas. It's because it's like driving a car. You know, you don't always have it on 90.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta do 60. But that's what I mean when I say I take it off. You know, at times I gotta come back on. I don't care if you're 19, like Malik. Sometimes I gotta. And then sometimes I'm about to be at 40 with you because I still gotta let you figure it out too. You know, so that's what, you know, on the gas part. But like you said, the mirror, you gotta be the mirror for that child. So the picture of coming into the picture for my son, my wife, so my son, my wife, his dad wasn't there that much at first. He's understood here now. And that's my dog. Like he looks at me as my son's dad. He'd be like, "That's your dad too." But you never disrespect him. That's exactly what he tells my son. Like that's your dad. Like about me. So, that's but he knows 100% of me. He knows that when I sold the place and I was outside from East Atlanta all the way to North, all that, he's seen me drop him off to school, in the uniform, going home to make the place, and he's coming home. "Dad, did you leave me some? Please tell me you left the plate for me." He knows. All my kids seen that. Malik was in the kitchen with me when I created sriracha chicken and waffles. He was in the kitchen. I showed him creation. Right. So you gotta be that mirror. Because I didn't have it. I had to build my own confidence. I used to think I was ugly. And I'm looking at my dad, like my dad get every damn female he wants. And I look like my dad, but dad was, He didn't teach me confidence.
Right.
I had to teach myself. I just started looking like, well, damn, if I look like him, and he did, if he made money, I can do it too.
Yeah.
So I instilled my confidence, but I instilled that in them.
See, go back to what you about the confidence thing. I didn't even really have a conversation with him like that. It was
just
natural.
It's natural because you was the mirror of others. You know, see, I had to teach myself that. So me having kids now, they able to mirror off me.
Right.
But I didn't have, my mirror was a distant mirror. It was like the reflector mirror for my dad.
Gotcha.
I see you at the distance. I see that. Okay, well, I could do it too. If you can't, why can't I?
Right.
And then that's how I became that person. And now my kids see that. If they can do it, I can do it. Only if they don't do so, I know it's because you're just being lazy.
Pretty much.
But I know you can do it. By being, you know, so.
To keep going on that, right? I've been a cool dad. I mean, like, I don't gotta do certain things to be like, oh, hey, you doing that with your son? No, I've been doing so many things with my son. He could vouch for you, vouch for me. He could definitely vouch for me. They've been seeing him since he was like this. So they notice things he's been doing. You know what I mean? So I don't, and then I got brothers and cousins around me that I didn't have to tell him nothing. He was around everybody.
It's a village.
Yeah, he around everybody.
That's what's missing today, you know, that village. That's what's lacking now is that village. Like, we need to take like father trips with the boys. Even though they get a little older, we still got the young ones that still here.
I like that.
We still got the young ones that still here watching. We gotta start taking the trips. Like, you was in Jamaica with him.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta make sure they see this country young.
That's a fact.
You know, not waiting to 25 or you seen the world or 22. Like, my first time ever seeing anything outside of New York, North Carolina, and Florida was 20 when I went on a cruise with the family. Besides those three places, that's all I've been growing up. Well, my mother, she got tired of living, we here now. Tired of living here, we here now. Like that was it. You know, so seeing the world was 20 because my sister couldn't go on a cruise and she gave me her ticket to go with the family. I lucked up by going to see the world, like, and I had to go in the army to see the world. I would know, you don't gotta go army to see the world. There's a whole world out here beside that block. A lot of people don't even know nothing outside that block.
Nah, they don't.
So we gotta establish that. We gotta take them on these father retreats and everything. It's us and we showing them different things. We gotta do that. We gotta open their mind young and take it to the next level.
Yeah, we definitely travel.
Let me just add to what Kaden said. I think it's an important rule of thumb to never compare yourself to anybody. The only person you should compare yourself to is to who you were yesterday. That's the only person. Because even if you want to compare yourself to somebody else, you don't have the adequate information to accurately do so. Like you don't. We're all different. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you could live in the same house as somebody and your upbringing is not going to be the same because it's two different perspectives. Like it's two different people. Like, you know what I mean? So it's pointless even if you wanted to do that. Like I think you can admire from afar, like compare yourself in that regard, have something to work towards. But as far as like feeling down because you're not where you think somebody is now, like that's pointless. Like you're not even getting the real deal story to accurately do it. You just gotta compare yourself to who you was yesterday, and every day is day one. Every day is a new day.
That was good.
I want to add something like as far as like confidence or like if you're lacking confidence, like there's a time and point like where I lack confidence and I was spoiled. You know what I'm saying? Like I could ask my dad for anything, he gonna get it. I could ask my mom for anything, she was gonna get it. But when it comes to like comparing yourself or whatever, like this is what I did to help me build my confidence, like internally, like I set goals for myself, like all right, like whatever it is I want to do, I'm gonna accomplish it. Now I got something that I can be proud of, you know what I'm saying? Like, or like now, like anything that comes in my head, I don't procrastinate, I just go do it. Like time I think about it, just go do it. Whatever, whether it's talking to a girl, you see a bad John on the campus, like just go do it. You know what I'm saying?
And however times doing it, you're gonna perfect it.
You're gonna perfect it. Now you ain't gonna be fucking over your word. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna know the same time. Okay, next time a rubber leg. You know what I'm saying?
You know what he said? Just do it. Don't try. Don't try.
Yeah.
And the I say to my kids because the word try means to make an attempt.
That's a fact.
But if you making it, the word attempt means to achieve or accomplish. Anybody, if you think about it, like you play basketball. All right, game on the line. You know you need this. You gotta miss this shot because you gotta get the rebound and put it back up and score to win the game. You just throw it up. You're not trying to make it. Your goal is not to attempt to make it. But when you're attempting, it's two. I need these two.
Yeah.
They both gotta go in. Your mission is to achieve or accomplish that goal. So always attempt to do something, not try to do it. And that's something that I make sure I say to my kids, young too. Get that in your thoughts. Don't ever try to do something. I'm trying. You're BSing and learn from your failures.
Yeah.
Turn your losses into wins. And that builds the confidence too.
I want to piggyback on what you were saying, like, you can't compare yourself to others. You gotta just have the most confidence, like, in that, like, don't give a fuck what nobody thinks about you, because guess what, if you're doing good and doing bad, they gonna say something. Regardless. And, like, learn that early. I learned confidence from, like, it's like as I, like, was on Jimmy type shit, like, how a woman just started coming, no matter the age, height, weight, like I'm saying, they don't matter.
Should have seen him last night.
He said that's gonna be a cut scene right there. That's how I make it into the podcast.
So yeah.
Nah, you can go.
So like I said, I didn't have none of that. So I had nobody to give me anything. So what I recommend, find your skill. Everyone has a skill. Everyone has a skill. It may not be the same skill he got. It may always be somebody better looking. It's always gonna be somebody taller. Always gonna be somebody who can shoot better. You might have more hand. Use it. Work on your hand. You know what I'm saying? All right, you ain't the best looking. You probably could dress. Get fly. You know what I'm saying? You probably can't dress, but you a hustle. Go get more money.
There you go.
Find your skill set. You know what I'm saying? Find your lane. You may not be smooth, but you're funny. Enhance your skill set. Make them laugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta find your like that. Everybody, get up. I always do basketball reference. Like, everyone's not a scorer. Some people are role players. You know what I mean? Somebody can play defense, but you might not be a good shooter. But you gotta find your lane. What works is you gotta get him where you fit in, because what got him there is not gonna get you there.
You know what I'm saying?
You
don't know how they got it. You don't know what they did to get what they got.
You don't know what they lost to get it. Like, we be looking at people's lives, feeling like you want that. You don't even know what came with that. You know what I'm saying? For better or for worse. So you just gotta enjoy your own journey.
And that's so real, because I think, to bring it full circle, social media, it does that, right? You see a 15-second clip and you comparing yourself to this 15-second
highlight reel,
and you don't even know what they've been through.
It's crazy, because it could be a 30-minute video that they just chopped down into 15 seconds to drop on there, and you go, oh, they didn't know. That's a 30-minute video. You're just saying 15, and that's right. You see that one win, but you don't know how many times that person failed to get that one win.
But what I will say though, with this game we playing of life, is it takes sacrifice, right? There is going to be some sacrifices along this journey. I mean, so when you trying to, it's just sacrifice, right? We look at like somebody like Kevin Hart and LeBron. When Kevin Hart and LeBron was a teenager, they probably wasn't going to clubs. They was putting work in, right? Now, they reap the benefits, the fruits of their labor, right? Now they can travel where they can do whatever. Meanwhile, the other individuals comparing themselves to LeBron, but you ain't LeBron. You ain't Kevin Hart. You wasn't sitting there making no jokes. I'm saying staying in the house, perfecting your skill to be a Kevin Hart. So just put your time in. Your time will come, because everybody has a skill.
Yeah, I want a book.
And everybody had a time.
Just a book recommendation that kind of touches on that is Mastery by Robert E. Greene.
Say it again.
Mastery by Robert E. Greene. It's that's the brother that made 48 Laws of Power, Art of Seduction, and all that. Mastery touches on, like tapping into your gift, and like how to identify it, which is more important than the gift itself. Like if you got the gift and you can't identify it, then what good is it? So it's like it just breaks it down. And I read that book when I was younger. And it was a life changer. It definitely was like me before that book and me after. So Mastery.
Consider yourself a leader? This is what I want to ask Lee here. Do you consider yourself a leader? He's talking on a book, and that just made me think of something. Consider yourself a leader?
I can say lead. I'm not. I say like role model. I'm not really like a vocal leader, or like I have to hold somebody accountable, but I ain't trying to lead. Like I gotta know you to lead, something like that.
So if you
Did you know it's 21 irrefutable laws of leadership? So that means it's a different style of leadership. You don't have to be the vocal one to lead.
Like Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan, quiet assassin.
I like him. We like him.
That's a leadership trait. So you are a leader. You're the person that leads by example. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I made it happen. This person's watching it. Okay.